Oh, what up, Halo Zone? Shmeckledorf here with another episode of Halo with the Shmecks. Today we are playing CTF on Complex. And right out of the gate, I wanted to ask you guys what you think of the new DLC. I happen to think it is pretty awesome. I like that there's smaller, more competitive set maps. And I just kind of want to see some comments, initial feedback from some of you guys. I know there's not any really great double maps. Skyline's okay, but I don't love that map. But overall, I think they're taking a lot of steps in the right direction. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Moving on, I'm going to kind of pose a what-if question to you guys. So imagine you're sitting there watching your YouTube video. You're watching your Halo with the Shmecks like every smart person does, and then pew, the power goes out. What do you do? So you're probably thinking to yourself, you know, I make sure it's not just my computer. I check a couple lamps. I go to another room. Make sure the electricity isn't just out in my room, you know, check the breaker. But pretty quick, it's pretty clear, the power is entirely out. It's not coming back. You know, what do you do? I don't know about you guys, but when the power's out, I kind of just sit there and I wait. You know, maybe read a magazine, maybe read a book, Kindle, whatever you got around. But I'm not going to go and try and fix the power because honestly, I don't know what I would do. Like if someone was like, hey Taylor, go fix the power, I would probably just stare at him with a blank face and hit a tree with a wrench for a while or something. I don't know I don't even know where to start. I took physics and I did like little hook the battery up to the light bulb. But if you don't give me a battery, you're not getting any light out of my little light bulb. So there you are, and you realize it's not coming back. So, you know, it's been a long day, so you go to bed. And you wake up in the morning and you go and you realize it's like noon already, and you didn't even know it. Your alarm clock didn't go off because there's no electricity. And then you go to take a shower, there's no hot water. You go to get some breakfast and the milk is already starting to rot in the refrigerator. You can't have your cereal. You go to use the toaster to make yourself some toast, that's not an option. And you're realizing you're pretty much out of food you can eat. So you run down to the grocery store. Well, it turns out they can't really sell you anything because they don't have any electricity to run their items or their cash registers. So you kind of are on your own. So what are you going to do? You're going to go grab some leaves? What leaves can you eat? What can you eat in the real world? We're animals and we can't even eat stuff around us. We have to be fed, basically. We're like little babies. I can't get my own food. Can you get your own food? When was the last time you fed yourself without anyone's help? And it wasn't probably was never. And if it was something, probably not your favorite meal of your life. It's not like you just ate some berries all day and just thought, oh my goodness, why do I even eat steak? So, you know, it's been a couple days and people start realizing that it's not coming back. Someone realizes that they don't have the proper tools and they don't have any way to buy it. So what do? They go looting. Next thing you know, you've got people polluting and looting. They're running around the streets, they're breaking windows, they're taking what they want. People are grabbing Xboxes in case the power comes back on. Smart people are grabbing flashlights and batteries. Moral of the story is, everything is going nuts, all in a matter of days. There's no access to information. Nobody on Facebook saying, you guys, you really need to stop looting because it's bad. Like this if you cry every time. There's nothing like that. You can't go on YouTube and ask me what to do. There is nobody to guide you. And I don't know about you guys, but people thinking on their own is a scary thought. Have you seen shows like American Idol and all that sort of stuff? That's what happens when people are allowed to vote on what happens. You get shows like that running for 20 years, but thankfully the power's out and you don't have to worry about that. So what do? You just grab all the stuff you can hide in your house. And the people who were ill prepared, chances are they want your stuff and you're not going to just give it to them. When does sharing ever work? I mean, communism, really? Communism basically is sharing, but it just doesn't work because people are greedy. Next thing you know, people are running around the streets trying to steal from each other, trying to get all the good stuff. And chances are, they're not probably happy about it. They're guarding themselves with guns. You're shooting back. So now we've got the haves and we've got the have-nots. And this is like, what, 2-3 weeks into the situation, maybe a little further, depending on how communication goes. It wouldn't take that much, honestly. And here we have our situation where it's you, the haves, with a gun, guarding your fortified house from a bunch of have-nots who would just do anything. They're starving to death. It's been a month. They are starving to death. They will do anything to take your food. It's life or death for them. Death. No, it's life or death for them. And so they're just knocking you over. They're taking your stuff. And so here's the situation. It's you in your house with a gun. trying to fend off a bunch of people without a gun, and they're trying to get in and get at you. That's a zombie movie. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds exactly like a zombie movie to me. And the only thing that happened was the power went out. If eating people wasn't gross, I'm sure they would eat you too. So the only thing separating you from a zombie movie at this point is electricity and the fact that eating people is gross. And that is not much, especially when you consider all the animals in the woods don't have electricity and they don't necessarily think eating each other is gross. It just shows you that when it comes down to it, we're a bunch of chimpanzees with electricity running around doing God knows what. So that's my little mini rant for the day. I'd like you all to consider how crazy that would be, just a little change in your life. And how, like, if you look at society maybe 100 years ago, you know, your great-great-grandparents, chances are they lived on a farm or they, you know, had someone close in their family who did. They made their own food, you know. They made their own stuff. Yeah, they bought things they didn't know how to make, but for the most part, they could make everything they need to use. People these days, they don't do anything. If you think about what you pay people to do, that's basically stuff you can't do or you don't have time to do, what you pay other people for. Make your food, give you a place to live, make shelter, make roads, gives oil for your car, oil and gasoline for your car, pump you water, keep your food cold. That's all stuff you pay for. So let's take out the stuff that you pay other people for, and what's left is what you can do on your own. And unless you are like Bear Grylls just watching this video with a bowl of popcorn and giggling to yourself because you're exempt from the zombie chances are you pay people to cover 99.9% of your basic needs. Like, I'm sure you could set up a tent, but like, let's say you didn't have your tent. Could you really make yourself a solid house that would keep the rain off of you? I honestly don't think so. I'm not doubting your survival skills. I'm just saying I know I couldn't, and chances are you're at least a little bit like me. So, really, we've kind of lost the ability to survive, which is kind of weird because we're supposed to be the alpha dog, you know, the top predator. There's not supposed to be anything that can mess with us. But honestly, there's not really anything we can mess with. We're running around with a bunch of stuff that people way smarter than us invented, and, you know, I don't know how to do any of the stuff that runs my life. Like, think about this. Right now, you're watching a bunch of little pictures come up on a screen while a man from a different place talks to you through a microphone. If I left you in a workshop for 1,000 years with all the tools you needed and no help, could you replicate this scenario? Could you figure out how to make a computer, make a video game, make YouTube, a website, and, you know, a microphone and electricity for that matter, and make all of those components work? I don't know about you guys, but I feel pretty accomplished when I complete a jigsaw puzzle. So it's just an interesting thing that I was thinking about, and I want to hear your guys' take on it. That's really all I got for you guys today. Shmeckledorf out. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.